Hello everyone, this is Divesh Goyal, practicing company secretary from Delhi. Today in this video, this is our second video in the series of annual compliances for the companies. In this video, we are going to discuss about the annual compliances for a public limited company. As we know, there are the many compliances under Companies Act which a company mandatorily required to do, whether the company is a working company, whether that company is a non-working company. Every company have to comply with those compliances to make a company compliant. So in this video, we are specifically going to discuss about the compliances of the public limited companies. As we know, as per definition of the public limited company means a company which is not a private limited company, provided that a company which is subsidiary of a public company shall also be considered as a public limited company. So if a subsidiary of public company, whether it is a private, but shall be considered as a public limited company. Some important features of the public limited companies. As per Companies Act, there is no minimum capital requirement for the public limited companies. As per Rule 9A of the Prospectus and Allotment Rules, every public limited companies must have their all shares in demat with effect from 2nd October 2018. Minimum there should be 7 members in case of private limited companies. Public limited companies. Public limited companies can pay remuneration to the directors, KMPs, as per section 197. Now let's discuss one by one the compliances for the private limited companies. What are the mandatory compliance for a public limited companies which they have to conduct during their tenure? So public limited companies compliances, if we talk about, as we can see on the screen, we have divided the compliances on the basis of the quarter. So first compliance for a public limited companies, receipt of MBP1 for the quarter of April to June. Every director of the company in the first meeting of board of directors in each financial year shall disclose his interest in other entities. It is mandatory for the public limited companies to receive MBP1 from their directors every year on or before the first meeting of the board of directors. In that MBP1, as per section 184 subsection 1, directors will disclose their interest. Compliance number 2, receipt of DIR 8. As per section 164, there are some conditions mentioned how a person can be disqualified to continue as a director or disqualified to appoint as a director. So as per section 164 subsection 2, read with section 143 subsection 3 clause G, every director of the company in each financial year shall submit with the company disclosure that he is not disqualified to continue as a director of the company. So this is compliance number 2. Compliance number 3, filing of MSME 1 form as per section 405. As per section 405, company have to file this return half yearly in respect of pending payment to the MSME vendor. This form is required to file only for those payments which are pending to the MSME vendor and which are pending for more than 45 days. So this return companies have to file every half year. So for the half year ending 31st March, we have to file this form till 30th April. And for the half year ending 30th September, this form is required to file till 30th October. Compliance number 4, half yearly return as per Rule 9A of the Prospectus and Allotment Rule, that is PS6. PS6 is a reconciliation of share capital audit report. Companies required to submit reconciliation share capital audit report with the ROC, audited by the practicing company secretary every half year within 60 days of end of half year. So for the half year ending 31st March, the due date is May. For the half year ended September, due date is November. So this is a fourth compliance for the quarter. We can say for the quarter April to June. Compliance number 5, yearly return DPT 3. As per section 73, read with Rule 16, company is required to file this form every year till 30th June in respect of return of deposit and particular not considered as deposit. So this is a yearly return which every public company have to file with the ROC till 30th June. These are the 5 mandatory compliances for the quarter April to June. Now for the quarter July to September, compliance number 6. As we know, July to September in the period when companies are required to prepare director's report, financial statement, holding of AGM. So first, companies have to prepare the director's report. Director report shall be prepared according to section 134 of the Companies Act and shall be signed according to the provision mentioned under section 134. It is a mandatory for every company to prepare the director report. Compliance number 7. As per section 117 read with section 179, every public company is required to file MGT 14 within 30 days of approval of the financial statement and director's report. So for the board meeting in which financial statement and director's report are approved, company have to file this MGT 14 with the ROC. Compliance number 8. After finalization of the director's report, financial statement, company is required to call an annual general meeting of its members as per section 101 read with Secretarial Standard 2. Company have to call the AGM every year. Then compliance number 9, circulation of notice of AGM. Notice of AGM is mandatorily required to send all the directors of the company, all the shareholders of the company, auditors of the company and the debenture trustee of the company. Compliance number 10, circulation of the financial statement and other relevant documents. As we discussed in compliance number 8 or 9, company have to call the AGM and circulate the notice of AGM. Along with the notice of AGM, company is required to circulate financial statement, auditor report and director reports also to all the persons to whom we are sending the notice of AGM. Compliance number 11. As per rule 12A, every director every year is required to file DIR3 KYC on or before 30th September. So 30th September is the due date for the DIR3 KYC. These are the some compliances for the quarter July to September. Now let's discuss the compliances for the quarter October to December. Compliance number 12. After approval of the financial statement, director's report, holding of AGM, now company have to file E-form AOC 4 under section 137 with ROC. E-form AOC 4 is filing of financial statement with ROC. In this form, company will file balance sheet, auditor report, director report, everything, every complete annual report with the ROC within 30 days of holding of AGM. Maximum cases AGM of companies is held in the month of September. So generally October is the due date for this form. Compliance number 13. As every company as per section 92 have to file annual return in e-form MGT 7 with registrar of company within 60 days of AGM. So as I said, generally AGM is held on September month. So generally the due date for this form is November, 60 days from the AGM. Compliance number 14, MGT 8. Public companies having paid up share capital 10 crore or more or turnover of rupees 50 crore or more shall be certified by the company secretary in practice. These are the some compliances for the quarter October to December. Now the quarter 4, January to March. There is practically no mandatory compliances for this quarter, that is January to March. But except above 14 compliances, there are 2-3 more compliances. Like compliance number 15, as per section 173 read with Secretarial Standard 1. Every company shall hold a minimum number of 4 board meetings of directors every year in such a manner that maximum gap between 2 board meetings should not be more than 120 days. And there is no requirement of holding a board meeting on the quarterly basis. Compliance number 16, maintenance of statutory register. Company is required to maintain some statutory register throughout the tenure of company, like register of director, register of member, register of related party transaction, register of investment, register of transfer of share, etc. Compliance number 17. As we know, every company is required to have a statutory auditor. Statutory auditor are appointed for the 5 years. So after every 5 year, company have to reappoint or appoint a new auditor and have to file ADT 1 form with the ROC. Hope you found this video useful for you. If you found this useful, please subscribe our channel. If you have any queries in relating to the annual compliance of public company, you can mention the same in the comment box also. Further, you can find out this write-up, this editorial on my blog. I will mention the link in the video. Thank you so much.